Hi everyone, welcome back to Mrs. Venti's channel. Today we are going to look at how to multiply binomials. We're using the Mind Action Series textbook. This is a grade 9 activity. We're doing exercise 2 on page 98. Here we have a binomial on the screen, and we are going to use the method that we used in our previous video, which is also known as the FOIL method, or as I like to say, give everyone an ice cream, right? So if I look at the question in front of me and I use the FOIL method, I am going to write out FOIL by saying F, which stands for first. First in that bracket is X, and the first in that bracket is X. So I'm going to say F is X times X, which gives me X squared. O stands for outer. On the outermost side, here I have X. On the outermost side, here I have minus 6. Remember to include the sign. So here I have X times minus 6. That gives me minus 6X. I in FOIL stands for inner. So this is the inner side. On the inner side here, I have plus 6. And on the inner side here, I have X. So that gives me positive 6x, and L stands for last. So my first bracket, the last one is positive 6, and in my second bracket, the last one is negative 6. So plus times minus is minus, 6 times 6 is 36. Now I can answer the question. The question says, what is x plus 6 times x minus 6? And I can say, the answer is going to be x squared minus 6x plus 6x minus 36. Automatically, you heard that minus 6x and plus 6x will cancel out to give me 0. So the answer I have left is going to be x squared minus 36. In this video, I'm going to teach you a different way of doing this. And before we can get to that, I need to tell you what this kind of question is called. So the question is x plus 6 multiplied by x minus 6. The first thing that you notice is that the variables x and the constants 6 and 6 are the same in both brackets. They are almost identical brackets, except this one has a plus and this one has a minus. If it wasn't for the plus and the minus, they would be identical. And this is important for you to know. When you see two brackets that are almost exactly the same, one with a plus and one with a minus, we have what is known as a difference of square. Now, you're going to see the meaning of this once we do the answer. But what we have is a difference of squares. Now, difference normally means minus, and squares means to the power of 2. Now we know that term 1 and term 2 in these two brackets are exactly the same. This will be term 1 and that's term 1. They are both x and x. And this is term 2 and that's term 2. They are both 6 and 6. And what is different between them is the sign. That's a plus and that is a minus. So when we answer this using the difference of squares method, you use the formula term 1 squared minus term 2 squared. This is going to be our formula for difference of squares. Every single time you see a difference of squares, you are going to write term 1 squared minus term 2 squared. Term 1 in this equation here is going to be x squared. The minus I bring from the formula. And then term 2 is going to be 6 squared. X squared is x squared. My minus stays there. And 6 squared is 36. And that gives me my final answer. Notice how these two answers are exactly the same. Bear in mind, you can only use this method if you have a difference of square. Right here, we've got x minus 7, x plus 7. Let's try using the difference of squares method. So I'm going to write term 1 squared minus term 2 squared. Term 1's value is x, because that's that one, and they're the same. So I have term 1 is x, and I bring that square down, minus the value of term 2 is 7, and I bring the square down. Now I calculate x squared minus 49. And that's my final answer. So there you go. Shorter way, but it only works for difference of squares. Now, lucky for you, the next couple of exercises are all difference of squares. So the first thing I write is term 1 squared minus term 2 squared. So let's calculate. I've got 2x plus 1, 2x minus 1. Term 1 is 2x in brackets squared minus term 2 is 1 squared. So 2 to the power of 2 is 4x squared minus 1 to the power of 2 is 1. 4x squared minus 1. 8a plus 7, 8a minus 7. Term 1 is going to be 8a, and I'm going to square it. Bring down the minus. Term 2 is going to be 7, and I'm going to square it. 8 squared is 64. A squared is a to the power of 2 minus 7 squared is 49. And that is your final answer. 2a minus 3b, 2a plus 3b. Now let's do difference of squares. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. A squared is a squared. 3 to the power of 2, that's 3 times 3, which is 9b squared. 3p plus 5q multiplied by 3p minus 5q. Identical brackets with a plus and a minus. Oh, let's see. We said that the answer is difference. Can you see the difference there? This is my difference in the name of it. It's difference of squares. And then notice that this is a square and this is a square. So I have got 2 squares and 1 difference. Difference of 2 squares. That is what we're doing, right? Okay, difference of squares on the next sum. 3p squared. 3 times 3 is 9. P times p is p squared. Minus 5q squared. 5 times 5 is 25. Q times q is q squared. And that's my final answer. Difference of 2 squares. 11k minus 12 multiplied by 11k plus 12. 11 to the power of 2 is 121. K times k is k squared. 12 to the power of 2 is 144. 4a minus 3b multiplied by 4a plus 3b. 4 times 4 is 16. A times a is a squared. 3 times 3 is 9. B times b is b squared. So up until this point, we have done difference of squares. And we said that the way we do difference of squares is we say term 1 squared minus term 2 squared. Please continue your hard work. I know that you are doing really, really well, and I'm very proud of you. If you have any questions, please ask me in class and click on like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.